So first of all, welcome to Kauną, and what are your first impressions about the city, about all the infrastructure here in Žalgiris Arena?
Yeah, it's been great so far. Honestly, I've been pleasantly surprised with the city. I think there's a lot for kids, which is great. I got two little ones, so they've been enjoying it, and it's been a really easy transition, I would say, so far. So I've been really happy with it.
You signed with Žalgiris very early this preseason. What was the main reason that you decided finally to come to Kauną?
I think that it's no secret that Žalgiris is every one of my free agencies. They've been a team that I've talked to, and so I just feel like when you have a team and a management that believes in you the way that they've shown belief year in and year out. It was just something that I felt, kind of just that feeling that this was the right time in my career to kind of make a change, and something that I felt really good about and excited about, and so that's kind of what played into it.
Back to that moment. Did you already know that Andrea Trinchieri is not going to be a coach of the team and Tomas Masiulis is going to come?
No, of course not. That was, like you say, it was early, and so obviously Trinchieri was still the coach. I had conversations with Trinchieri as far as, when talking about the style of play and what he saw from me. So, it was different after the fact, after the season when they decided to make the change.
Very surprised that Žalgiris won finals and they decided to change the coach?
Honestly, like everything in Europe, you hear rumors, you don't know, some are true, some are not true, that, maybe they were going to let him go. I didn't know, I was kind of just waiting to see like everybody else. And so I wouldn't say I was surprised. I had heard some rumors, but, it wasn't official until obviously, they made it known.
Tomas Masiulis now is the head coach of the team. What are your impressions about that? What kind of coach is he in your eyes?
Yeah, honestly, it's been it's been enjoyable so far to work with him. I think he has a really good demeanor about him. He's not too high and too low. He's kind of even keel, and he holds everyone to the same standard, which I think all players can respect. We know what is expected from us as players, and he holds us to that standard. So he's given us a lot of information early on. A lot of different coverages defensively and things like that. So I think it'll take a minute for all of us to get 100% comfortable with it, but we're trying to pick it up as fast as we can.
You played in such teams like Madrid Real, like Piraeus Olympiacos. They have full rosters. What are your expectations of your role in Žalgiris?
Just whatever that coach needs me to do to help us be successful. Right now, early on, it's kind of been more of an organized role, making sure that guys understand. Again, being an extension of him, on the floor. But it's going to be I think a game-to-game feel of what is asked from me and required of me, and that's kind of player that I've always been.
Even a year before, there were talks about schedule, about double weeks. Now there are more two teams, more double weeks. How do you see that?
Every year that I've been in EuroLeague, it's gotten more difficult. The level of competition has increased every year. Obviously teams are spending crazy amount of money and building great rosters. Now, like you said, two more teams, more double weeks. So, it's a challenge, for all teams. The good thing is that we don't have too much travel in the domestic league. So, hopefully that, will be an advantage for us. But it's going to be tough, but it's going to be tough for everybody. So.
You already mentioned about domestic league. Žalgiris already played 3 games. What are your thoughts about LKL? Can you compare it to something?
No, I feel like every league has a different feel to it, a different style of play. I will say that the arenas and the venues that we played in have been nice, so far. That's been a pleasant surprise. It's not always like that, in everywhere that I've been. So obviously we've only played a couple games, so I haven't seen the entire league. But it looks like it'll be competitive this year for sure.
You've been in Žalgiris Arena as a guest, as an opponent team player. Now on Friday it's going to be your first match with Žalgiris in EuroLeague game. What do you expect from the crowd, from the spectators?
Yeah, honestly, the expectations are really high just from everything that I've heard. Players that have played here, and obviously everyone that has talked about it. So expectations are really high because that's the bar that's been set. So I'm really excited to see what that energy is like for myself.
And I don't know if you hear the situation with ultras of Žalgiris. Maybe do you have a message to them?
Obviously I don't know, the details about everything, but just hoping that, we get their support back as soon as possible. Obviously that's a big, part of Žalgiris' success is the fan support and always being one of the toughest arenas to play in. So hopefully they'll be back as soon as possible and everything can get resolved.